Hey everybody, welcome to F1 or F Off, your audio pit stop for F1 news, interviews, race reviews. I'm your host, Gabe.
Bonjour, je m'appelle Iddris, the other half of F1 or F Off.
Nailed it. Yeah, I was like, I don't know why, I felt like hesitant with that one. I'm just like, and I'm the Gabe, and we do reviews and F1 news. I think it's just the dawn of the 50th episode jitters going on. Because tonight, ladies and gentlemen, FOOFO family, we are going to talk about the State of the Union,
or the State of the Pod.
State of the Pod, yes, the Union of Pods, we are. This will be episode 49, so. We are going to take a little bit of a kind of a Christmas vacation break, just ride out the rest of the year, and then come back swinging for our 50th episode at the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I guess, right now I'm just working through some personal life stuff, doing a move soon and whatnot. And so, like, not having a lot of F1 to chomp on, we're just sort of kind of letting the coasting the rest of the year. So
yeah,
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, just to give Gabe and myself some kudos here, it's been this pod has been a love letter, not just to the sport, but also like to our friendship, just being able to bond over something that we share such a mutual interest in, like a strong mutual interest in, and also get to share that love with you all you listeners and people who support us. So thank you for sticking with us and riding with us, because we definitely have some big things in store for next year and just for the future and direction of the podcast itself. So keep it coming in, because the love helps.
Yeah, no, it does. And not even just compounding on top of the stuff that we already love, but also expanding things further. Like we were talking earlier today, and I was thinking about how, like, we went to an IndyCar event together, and then that just kind of like we just didn't go back. Like we could have, but like I think it was just you were busy with your simulations. I was, I wasn't making a lot of money, so like I didn't have a lot of money to spend for the ticket. But like, it was close enough that we could have probably made it happen. But it's fine. I feel like at this point, I'm in the beginning of my 30s, and I'm ready to just kind of make adult situations with the financial, power that I have now that I did not have when I was like 19, 20. So
sure.
So I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, I just to kind of fill out the FOOFO lore here. The reason Gabe said simulations is because at the time when we went to the IndyCar race, I think I was deep in if that was 2013, I was just starting my master's in engineering, mechanical engineering. And like my buddies, Gabe included, always wanted to hang out, and I'd be like, sorry guys, I'm working on my thesis. I got to run another simulation tonight. And this is like 10 years plus that these guys have been holding this over my head. They're always like, oh, Iddris can't come. He's got to work on his simulations.
See, here's the thing. Okay, I was your defender. Okay, I will have you know. All right, because that was the thing. It's everyone was just like, oh, like, Iddris can never hang out. He never wants to hang out anymore. He's always doing simulation. And I was like, dude, the guy is working hard. He's in school, and like it will pay off eventually. Once he becomes a rocket scientist, we'll all be like, yeah, so we're friends with a rocket scientist, so take that. And I think it was. I mean, I can't speak for you, but I feel like it was time well spent. And a lot of this podcast is us catching up for that lost time, bits by bits. So. It's a bummer that like our other friends are not into it as much as they could be, because it's like it'd be sweet if we had like a group of 4 or 5 people, on the pod as like as like the FOOFO group, but it's just us. It's just you boys.
It is what it is, man. It is what it is. Yeah.
Well, obviously before we dive into the FUFO, like our self reflection, I do want to touch up on a little bit of F1 news because there was a little bit that was trickled in. I mean, it was a morsel, but man, that morsel was packed with some
Bro,
wasabi.
that was a nugget. That was what kind of name
So
is that?
so if you haven't heard, obviously the Sauber F1 team, which was Alfa Romeo, they were called Alfa Romeo for quite a while now because that was the title sponsor and I guess engine manufacturer, even though they were Ferrari engines. But so they decided that they're dropping Alfa Romeo this coming year, and I thought there were rumors that they were moving to Haas, but I haven't seen anything about that. So maybe Alfa
Yeah.
Romeo is just leaving altogether. I think they're focusing on World Endurance Championship stuff. I think I read
Yeah,
somewhere.
because and I think that's true because the team names for next season have I think dropped fully, and Haas is still MoneyGram Haas team for next season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it was some preliminary talks or
Yeah.
whatever, but I thought it would have been a good move because it would have been a more legitimate sponsor for Haas than a lot of the ones they've been doing. But I'll say that aside. But anyway, so if you don't know what we're referring to, okay, let me be the first to reveal to you and say out loud what most people have been reading when it comes to the reveal of the new Sauber name. Okay, ready?
Mhm.
Drum roll, please. It is Steak F1 Team Kick Sauber.
Bro.
I mean, if that doesn't
What?
just fall down a flight of stairs out of your tongue. I mean, seriously, what kind of fridge magnet poetry nonsense is that? It's like, let's just
Dude.
throw a bunch of words at a fridge and just be like, that's it.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, do you yeah, you know those little fridge magnets that like
Yeah,
that people
yeah.
get yeah. This is
100%.
exactly what it is. They're
Yeah.
like, steak sounds cool. And F1, it's clearly, yeah, that's for the social algorithm and kick Sauber. Yeah.
You know
Works
what?
for me.
You know what this looks
What
like?
the hell?
This looks like that when they submitted their name, there was a line, right? And they had to write the name out. And so they
They had overflow.
wrote Steak F1 Team, and they're like, "Oh shit, wait." And then
We
they
can
had
add
to
some
write
more.
Kick Sauber at the
Yeah,
end of it.
yeah.
And then that's what it ended up being. Like they just forgot that, because think about it, Steak Kick Sauber F1 Team, even that's better.
Yeah.
Or like Kick Steak Sauber F1 Team.
It's
like
so stupid.
it's
Yeah.
just, why don't they just call themselves Kickstake F1 Team instead
I-
of just leave the Sauber out of it?
Honestly, your explanation makes the most sense. I think what happened here is Sauber failed the Scantron. Like they didn't understand how to fill it out properly. Like, do you all remember the Scantron like forms we used to have for
Oh my
for
God.
school for exams during school?
Mhm.
That's what they just messed up.
Yeah, it literally, I cannot conceive of a boardroom, a
my
group
God.
with of executives who decided that when they I don't think anybody in that room said it out loud. I think they
No.
just saw it and they're just like, "Yep, okay, sure, ship it."
You know what else it could have been? I'm looking at the name now. Steak F1 Team, Kick Sauber, right? It feels like it's a last name comma first name situation. What if it's really supposed to be Kick Sauber Steak F1 Team? That sounds so much better.
That sounds so much better.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Kick
I'm
Sauber
sure
Steak F1 Team. Yeah,
someone messed up.
that's not.
Bro,
Yeah,
I'm
someone
telling you,
did mess up.
someone messed up.
So I think one of two things is either going to happen here. Either they're going to be facing so much of a backlash, which I think they already have,
Oh yeah,
over how stupid this name is, to where they will either completely change it, or they're just going to leave it like it is and be like, well, it's too late now, and then we are going to get just like gold fodder
Oh,
for the
man.
rest of next season about people trying to say the names properly. Because I would be willing to bet that if people just refer to them as Sauber, Steak, and Kick are not going to be happy about that.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to be they're probably going to try and force Martin Brundle to say it, and it's going to be
Steak F1 Team.
hilarious
Yeah.
to listen to Martin Brundle try and get that out during interviews. Like, I mean, seriously.
Oh, that's so funny. What a bad name. What a bad name.
It's just, and I love how they just put the F1 team like just in the middle, just
middle.
in there. They just stuck it in there, just like Steak F1 Team Kick Sauber.
Yeah.
It's just
it's
nothing
wild.
rolls off the tongue. Like I can't. Can you think of a worse F1 team name like from history? I really can't think of anything that was that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
there was probably some in the 70s that were pretty atrocious. But like most names are like named after people's last names.
Right.
William,
Mm-hmm.
Ferrari. I mean, even like most car manufacturers are like, you know, like a combination of names or somebody's last name. Like Aston and
Right.
Martin were not. It's not the person's last name was not Aston Martin. It was some. It was like John Aston and then someone Martin, and then they combined it together. So like, you know, I can't see this. I can't see this really flying. I mean, the merch is going to be absolutely hilarious. So it'll probably be meme
Yeah.
worthy.
Oh,
And I
absolutely.
think the best thing that Sauber can do is just
Just
lean into it if they're
you
going to
have
do it.
to. You have
You know,
to. Yeah. Yeah. The internet
yeah,
doesn't forget.
it does not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely come up with. I posted some alternative names. My
Yeah.
favorite being, I think it was Steak. Clearly, nobody was Sauber at this meeting when they came up with this name, F1 team. Um, yeah,
Oh man.
shocking,
What a
shocking, shocking.
mess. What a
Yeah, what a
mess.
mess. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
speaking of a mess,
Oh, oh. Mamma mia.
yeah, let's talk a little bit about Ferrari.
Yeah.
Now, I saw, apparently this has been a lot of talk about their car reveal, and it looks like their car is going to be debuting on the 13th.
Yeah.
That's not a
13th of
Friday, is it?
13th of February. Let's
Is
see.
that a Friday?
That is a Tuesday.
Okay, good. Whew,
Mhm.
all right, all right. So
Wait,
yeah,
why
it's the
why
first
why the hesitation if it were Friday?
Friday the
Oh, Friday
13th.
the 13th, you're right. I mean, honestly though, for Ferrari, just lean into it, dude. Like it can't get any worse, right?
It would end up being like a reverse curse where they
Yeah.
just keep winning, and no matter what they did, they would never
Yeah.
stop.
Exactly.
Um, yeah. So first car to ever to be revealed, which is very very exciting, because
Mhm.
apparently it is going to could be comprised of 95% new parts. Which, I mean, like,
Could you imagine at the side meeting? They're like, okay, look up, listen up, listen up. This is car trash. Throw it out. We're starting all over. Are we gonna use anything from last year's car? Just the tires. That's it. Three or
yeah, I was gonna
four.
say, like, what's the 5% they're retaining? Because I mean,
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
honestly, here's the thing: if we were switching regulations, okay, then yeah, clearly like 95% of it's going
Yeah.
to be completely different. But my
Jesus
God,
Christ,
like
dude. It's
halfway through an era, jeez,
they're just like no.
we have kept the rear view mirror, the side mirrors, and the wheel covers,
Oh my
and
God.
a couple of nuts and bolts.
Yeah, just literally two nuts and bolts. What?
Oh my gosh. Well, and then I love this because this is classic. This is like classic Ferrari, right?
Oh my
It's
goodness.
just like honestly like okay, guys, you had, not the best season in the world last year, but like we've been doing, better than we have the past,
Yeah, yeah,
5 or so years, right?
yeah,
So what are we going to do to, just nudge over that
yeah,
last, little
yeah.
bit? Oh, we're
Get
just
the
going to
edge.
change the entire car. The
Unbelievable.
whole thing, just throw it all away.
You know,
I almost wish that I imagine somebody moving the file into the trash can, like on the computer, the master file. They just copied over a couple of files, and then they're just like, "Yep, nope." Bloop.
to like right click, empty recycle bin. Are you sure? Yes. Oh wait, this file is too large to delete. You must permanently delete. Yes. Unbelievable. I mean,
Oh man.
there's just there's so much nuance here, right? Like,
Mhm.
what are you keeping? Right? Like
Yeah.
like between the engine, between the chassis, between like the aero. What are you wagering has are staying the same or the most similar or is retaining that 5% for
So,
next year?
so here's the thing: the engine has to be at least a quarter of the car, right? Like if you were to look at the car as a holistic thing, okay, and it's
Mm,
100% is the whole car.
mm-hmm.
The engine in and of itself, okay, I mean maybe you could probably you could compartmentalize all the different bits into different
Mm-hmm.
percentages, but if
Sure,
you
sure,
add
sure.
up all those percentage bits, it has to at least be a quarter, if not half of the car. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I would say that's a decent range. I was gonna say somewhere around 30 to 40%.
I mean, it's more than 5. Like it's more than
That's true.
5% of the car.
Yeah.
So clearly, like it has to be small things that don't need to be changed, right? Like the wheel covers, the
Yeah.
rims.
But see, I
Um,
guess what gets me though is that like, did Ferrari need to punch like the emergency button like this hard, this soon? I don't think, really though, like, because I don't think the concept is awful,
I
right?
don't either. No,
Like the
they weren't
like,
Mercedes.
yeah, like right. And I think like looking at it through the lens of where they finished versus other teams, for them to just completely just like hit the eject button is very surprising and shocking to me. Um, but maybe because they aren't Mercedes, that is the reason they're doing that, right? Because Mercedes is coming in with a whole new concept for next year, and they were able to get second in the constructors, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I suppose that's
maybe
true.
I can see some of their logic of feeling a little nervous, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It's very surprising, but I think they need to do
yeah.
something for Charles and Carlos. Carlos, I don't know if you saw. There was a headline. He was talking about how the car just feels completely different in the
hmm
simulator
In the simulator.
for the 24 car. So is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. We'll
I
see.
mean, yeah, like different could be great or it could be
Yeah,
terrible. I think he's just
yeah,
not, he did. I don't think he clarified. So,
yeah.
um, yeah, no, a good question. I mean, mm, well, one part of that percentage that's not going to be changed, the red paint. Um, clearly the
Oh
car
yeah.
is going to be red next year, so that's a maybe 1% of the 5%.
You know,
Um,
yeah, or yeah, that's true.
anyway,
Or they might come out and just like surprise us. You know, I'm telling you, a yellow Ferrari would look so cool. I know I've said it
well,
before. They got to
yeah.
do it.
Well, yellow would be great, but also they have precedent for this. John Surtees drove a blue and white Ferrari for a Grand Prix car at
Hmm.
a race. I don't know what race it was. It may have been, it wasn't Silverstone, maybe it was like Hockenheim or something.
Hmm.
But there's photos of it in the 60s. It looks great.
Yeah,
And it's just like, you guys just do a one-off livery of that. Do
yeah,
it blue and yellow or blue and white with like the Ferrari logos. Like I don't think anybody's going to be mad because you've done it before. So, but who knows? I mean, I don't think they're ever going to change from red. I think it would actually be kind of confusing if they picked another color because then you're just like, where's the Ferraris?
yeah.
It just doesn't. But hey, they can always do. They can still do a lot with red in the livery. So
Hmm.
we'll see. I'm
Yeah.
I'm really excited to see who's going to be looking the best, which also means they're probably not going to be very fast. So, um, well, so kind of getting back to the podcast as a whole. Obviously, so we've been at this since January of 22, right?
Just
And
about. Yeah.
yeah, it feels like I'm just thinking about those early episodes and like what we did and how we put them together and the little bits that we put
Oh
in
yeah.
there, and
Oh
it
yeah.
feels like decades ago, man. It really just feels like a long time has gone on, but I guess it's a good thing. It just makes it feel like what we're doing has like a sort of an impact on our lives in such a way that it's
Yeah.
just like kind of become complacent in this way. We feel like kind of comfortable
Hmm.
sort of in that pocket.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, how do you feel like just as a holistic like kind of after doing this for a full year?
Yeah. It's been really fun. I think my favorite part is just engaging with everyone on social media, like specifically Instagram, because we don't really do a whole lot on Threads or Twitter. Um,
X.
yeah,
Yeah.
X. I
X.
think what's been the best part about the conversations is just people sending, like you guys, you listeners, sending us your honest thoughts on things and like some good jokes. Like I gotta say, I think that's what I gotta say. Everyone's hilarious, man. People are sending in some takes. I'm just like, yo, this is awesome, and like not like to be funny. You know what I mean? Like telling jokes and those
Right.
kinds of conversations, and it's amazing. And I think this was what we set out to do when we first started this pod, right? That we wanted to
Mm.
connect with others who cared about the sport as much as we did, and bring in fresh perspectives and good hot sizzling hot fajitas and some good jokes to go along with all that. Because I think sometimes F1 is a bit too serious, right? And
Mhm.
life can be too serious sometimes. So it's nice to take a breather from all that and just enjoy all this in the moment and just have some fun.
Right. I kind of view us as like we're sort of like Well, we're the kind of I feel like we're sort of a landing pad for people who like started to get into the sport for whatever reason, whether it was Drive to Survive or because a friend told them to watch it or
Hmm.
whatever. And I think that because we jumped into it, or it was because like we sort of eased our way into it over the years,
Yeah.
and we saw like a lot of the previous like seasons, and like we were through a couple of different eras and we witnessed all of that. It feels like we sort of like our sort of approach to this is still but very much like easygoing, like just getting it out there and just like saying like saying things like they are, like I feel like there's a lot of sort of flash in the pans that kind of come, especially when something gets really popular all of a
Yeah.
sudden,
Yeah.
and that can be great. But then like the flash in the pans will suddenly, it's like if you get involved in like a YouTuber and you're like, oh, I love this thing that they did about this video, and then you
Mm.
find out like most of the content as they go by is just like not that at all, and they start to
Yeah.
deviate in places that you don't want to go to, and then you
Yeah.
just don't listen to them
It
anymore.
was just like a one-off, maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like we're approaches because we sort of have been here for a while in this space, that it's like we don't feel like we're losing steam. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I'm not scared away by an F1 dominance season.
Hmm.
And that's what was really funny. It's like how everyone talks about how like, oh, F1 is dead because
Hmm.
Max just wins everything and it's boring.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you weren't there from 2010 to 2013, okay? I was. And
Where Seb
like
just like crushed everyone's throats.
I mean, crushed. I mean, like, you would, like, we talk about Max pulling a lead, right? He'll get like a 14-second lead or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, for Step, or like, Vettel was pulling like 10-second leads in like 2 laps.
That's
It
insane.
was that much. Like,
That
it's
blown
just the
diffuser.
blown diffuser, man. Oh my
Just-
God. And the dirty air also just like killed everybody else, which is why
yeah.
they needed to solve that.
Yeah.
So, like, we were, I've witnessed that, and
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, even at that time it was kind of boring, but then
Hmm.
you find the little small spots where you can, and I think
Hmm.
like we've got a little bit of that this year,
Yeah.
with Sainz win in Singapore, and like a couple of really good podiums, and sort of Piastri sort of turn around as a rookie. And so I feel like we're in a good spot as far as that goes. Like, I
Yeah.
feel pretty comfortable with the little piece of real estate that we've kind of carved out in this community. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, too, I think one thing that's exciting for next season is that nothing is promised or guaranteed. Just because a
Nope.
team has showcased dominance, that can change like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look what happened to Mercedes as they came into 2022. Just missed it, like completely. That is what we call a fumbling of the bag. What Mercedes
Yeah.
did
Right.
completely, right?
Right.
And you can see how quickly fortunes can change, right? We saw how McLaren was just literally trash at the beginning of the season, and how they turned it around completely, and how
Yeah.
they made up some massive grounds, right?
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I think they're a contender for next year if they get it right.
Yeah.
Look at Aston Martin. They were the shooting star at the beginning of the season, which might be the most apt description for them because they burned out really quickly. But then
Mhm.
there was a resurgence towards the end. So nothing's
Right.
guaranteed.
Yeah.
Nothing's
Well,
guaranteed.
hey, maybe changing 95% of your car is the ticket. Maybe that's the secret sauce that gets you a world championship. You know what I mean? Like, I
Bro,
mean, everyone always says like, oh,
I,
it takes you like 5 years to like, develop a good F1 program.
man,
Maybe not.
maybe not. Maybe
Maybe you
just,
just gotta throw it out.
dude, this is real. Like, you know how we said on the Herman Toka episode, just Toka spaghetti at the wall?
Yes.
It's also Ferrari spaghetti. Like, just like
Yeah.
throw the
Mhm.
concept at the wall, see what sticks, switch it up,
Just like, yeah.
fire the
just
TP,
like,
get a new guy in there.
yeah.
Insane.
I know. Oh man, I'm excited about that alone.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to know,
Yeah.
what is this going to mean for them?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if imagine if they show up like Bahrain, right? It's qualifying and they don't make
Mhm.
it out of Q3.
Oh my
It'd be like, dude, guys, what did you do? And then just like immediately after the race, they're just like, we're going back to our previous design. And
can't.
somebody's like running over to get the Wayback Machine to try and like find the file. It's like, damn it! Everyone has a thumb drive, right?
Oh my
I
goodness.
knew we should have sold it to McLaren.
Yeah.
Um,
Ferrari just does Spygate on themselves.
yeah. Well, and changing of fortunes can also happen from the top down too. I mean,
Yeah.
like, Red Bull might get caught up in the scandal. They
Hmm.
might find, maybe there was something that's been going on with the new car that like was not above board. That was like they were hidden really well. I still kind of clinging on to that fading, thread of Red Bull is cheating somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even though it's been
Or
proven not to be the case, I still feel like it.
and even better, like I'll never forget. This is another funny pod moment, or just like funny moment from the season when I think it was Checo who binned it at Monaco, right? And then they just hoisted the car over, and like
Yep.
everyone's like,
Yeah. Yeah. And Red Bull is just like, it doesn't matter. It's like, Red Bull pulled the whole, it doesn't matter who did it first or who did it best. Like that sort of thing where it's just like, okay, guys, like,
yeah.
it's like, you might be able to take pictures, but it doesn't mean you're going to figure it out. And it's like, well, okay. I think there's some smart people on these other teams that might be able to kind of sort out what's happening. So,
Absolutely. So,
um,
so I think that brings me to one point I wanted to touch on. What has been your favorite episode of this first inaugural FUFO season?
can you repeat that? I did your audio cut out.
Oh, sorry. Okay. That brings me to a question I have for you.
Uh-huh.
From this inaugural season of FUFO,
Right.
what has been your favorite episode that we've recorded? There's so many to choose from. 48 to be exact. 49 including this.
Yeah. I mean, I think my favorite to probably listen back, um, might be Shanali and Tiernan's.
Mm.
It's close. It's a close tie with like our interviews with like Shanali and Tiernan and Elizabeth and Damon.
Hmm.
Those were the most fun to record
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
and like also fun to listen back to.
Well,
Um,
let me make it easier for you then, because
okay.
I agree with that sentiment. So, non-interview episodes.
Mm.
What's your
I
favorite?
think, yeah, I think it was probably, honestly, it might be Vegas because Vegas was so ridiculous. Like just talking about the ridiculousness of Vegas was really really fun.
Hmm.
But also Singapore was hilariously awesome too because
Yeah.
it was that signs win. So,
Mhm.
like just like talking about like George just losing it. Like
Man.
the sort of like Stroll just like not being any sort of factor in it at all. Yeah. That one sticks. That one, those two, I think, stick out most in my
Yeah.
mind, at least that I can remember specifically. Um, but yeah, what about you?
Hmm. I think I would have to say what comes to mind immediately would be our Formula Academy episode.
Oh yeah, that was
Like,
fun. Yeah.
yeah, just talking about like the history of the sport and the history of just women in motorsport, um,
Mhm.
and what that series like represents. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that we're actually going to see that as a support series for next year.
Yeah.
Just because of how important that is. So I think that was one
Right.
of my favorite ones to record for sure.
Yeah, I also really just had fun with like all the early ones that we did. It was like going through F1 history and like our hot rivals episode and stuff like that. Those are really fun to put together. Especially
Absolutely.
doing all the research for that, and you just
Yeah.
learn new stuff you didn't know before, and like all the tech stuff, like our band car episode. That was fun.
That
Um,
was a good one.
it's and what sucks is like we already burned all that out at the beginning of the season, so
Yeah.
like we can't, maybe like 5 years down the road we could do a refresher episode
Hmm.
on that or something. But
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, when it comes to motorsports though, and F1 in general, I think there's always room for us to do more episodes about specific topics, right? Because there's so many lenses that you can view these things and issues with. So
right.
yeah, if you feel like you missed out on the freshness that was the White Hot Rivals episode, I'm sure we'll probably have we'll call it a series of F1 rivals like Rosberg versus Hamilton and talk about all of that for an episode or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Norris versus trophies. Mick Schumacher versus burnouts.
Oh, you know what's sad about the trophies one?
Ferrari versus everything.
Yeah, Ferrari versus Ferrari.
Just change the Ford versus Ferrari poster and just do Ferrari versus Ferrari. Oh my god.
No.
What are these tires?
Smooth operator.
Do you want a new set or a used heart? Question.
Do you want 3 tires or 4?
Well, that's a fun question then, Iddris. What do you think is our best reoccurring bit? Is it Mamma Mia Ferrari?
Absolutely,
Mamma Mia Scuderia?
absolutely. Yeah. It's Mamma Mia Scuderia. Are you kidding me? Like it's just the gift that keeps on giving. Like Alonso Alpine is funny. I think I liked when we did the race wrap recaps at the beginning for a few races. That was cool, and also the old timey bit. So we, maybe just been on the lookout. Maybe we'll bring that back next season. But
yeah,
Mamma Mia Scuderia. Oh my god, it's just so funny. Like,
yeah, I will keep doing. Like, we'll keep putting those together. If we get people that are like, we need you to do this. Like, I'll do one for like maybe preseason testing or something.
Sure.
Just as like a little redo of that.
Yeah.
And if we get people that are wanting to hear more of that, I will certainly put together this. But I'm telling you right now, that is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like doing all the voices, pulling all the car noises in, trying to sync everything up. Man, that was work. If you haven't listened to him, go back. It's like,
it's on our link tree. You can find it all.
Yeah, I think like the first few races, I think it like opens up with like the like newsreel sort of things, and we were getting real creative, and we were getting real ambitious. yeah
But we say that, but we do have like new things like planned for next season, so maybe it was ambitious, but then we're gonna just like add more to our dinner plate too. So
no, it's true.
That's just how we do.
Yeah, it's true. Doing podcast stuff on the side from like also having a full-time job, it's really intense. Like, it's just like it's a commitment of time. Like you and I would be really, really good D&D players because we consistently every week we're just like, yep, no, we're down. Like, but absolutely. I mean, I think it just goes to show it's because we care about this, we're invested in it, and that's it's sort of why we're continuing to do it. And I think and that's why it's important, and it's really nice whenever we hear anybody that's like, yeah, this is great, like we love you guys, like this is awesome. It's like that's the kind of feedback we want to hear, because it reminds us that like we're doing this for good reasons. So
so brings me to another topic I'd like to discuss with you. Controversies for the season. What has been your favorite juicy bit of drama from this entire season?
Oh man, I mean,
so many to pick from.
Honestly, it might just be this thing with Susie Wolf and Toto, just because everyone was just immediately just like had all the boilerplate like responses, just kind of like blanketing it out there. Man, I'll have to think about that. If there was one that was like related to in season, honestly, it might be the whole thing with DeVries getting kicked. Yeah. And then Danny Ricciardo immediately showing up and then breaking his wrist after like 2 races. Yeah. Like just the whole AlphaTauri driver swap thing. It was like, it wasn't a moment. It was just like this continuous thing. And you had like, Nick DeVries just unceremoniously cut from the team. Yeah. Not a thank you, not a good job. Good luck with everything. It's just he's done. He's out. Like they even like patched in the F1 2023 to put Danny Ricciardo's face in there. Like they, like I don't even know if there's like is there a previous version of that game that you can like bypass the updates so that you could drive as Nick DeVries. Like,
I don't know. If anyone who's a listener and you have F1 2023, let us know.
Yeah, I need to buy it. Yeah. And so like we'll get it. But I am curious, like, because that would mean that AlphaTauri you should be able to choose from 3 different drivers from that year, from 4. Last year. Or 4. Yeah, 4 different drivers from last year. But who knows? I mean, maybe there's some contract where they're not allowed to do it or something. I mean, like, it'd be tough to say, but But yeah, no. What about you?
I would have to say there were 5 races in a row where Checo did not make it out of Q3, and I was like, ooh, what does this
Yeah.
mean?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That I think that was something that I was very keen on finding out what the result of that would be, and we found out that right now it's nothing, right? But I'm sure 2024 is going to be very important for Checo's career.
Which is
That's the walk
yeah,
away. I have to,
which seems crazy to me, seeing that he's still number 2, like twice in
yeah,
a row. Or
yeah,
well, not twice in a row. He didn't get it in 22, right? Because Verstappen was like a he didn't he remember he famously was just like, oh, Checo knows what he did, so like I'm not gonna let him pass for second
yeah,
place or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
But like his progression has steadily climbed in Red Bull. Like this last year was technically probably his best year at the
Mm-hmm.
team. So
Yeah, yeah. Last year, 2022, Leclerc was second, and
yeah,
Perez was third.
it's just like yeah, it is going to be important for his career, but it is really only going to be important for his career because of Red Bull's history of swapping drivers. That's really the reason.
Exactly.
Because he's doing a good job, as good as he can with the equipment that he's been given.
Yeah,
But like when you got a team that's just continuously, kind of patting you down and just yeah, it's a bummer.
yeah, absolutely.
Um, well, one thing that I do want to say that I'm very grateful for, and hopefully this should be expanding for us coming into next year is our F1 journey has brought to us a lot of new friends and new people in this space that we like to talk about
Yeah,
and talk to and have on the pod. Notably our friends Shanali and Tiernan and Elizabeth Blackstock, and we met like our friend Alanis King. We also met along when we were at Austin in 2022,
hmm
as well as all the other podcasts that are in the kind of community that we
yeah.
follow and we enjoy the content of. So
And we've talked
um,
with and like shared laughs with that kind of stuff. Like it's just been
yeah,
great.
it's been really good. It's like I've spent so much time like not only having like you as my F1 friend, and now it's like I finally feel like it's like there's more people that get it,
Yeah,
and so like you can just have more comments, you could talk to more people about it, and have more conversations, and it just suddenly feels like you got a group of
yeah,
people around you who care.
absolutely.
And like honestly, like I feel like it's really not a difficult sport in the long run to get involved with and to get excited for, at least as much as people might think of in the past. And I think it's just like anything, like you might not know a lot about football, but you can support your local team and
That's true.
just be happy if they win or not. And if they're in a base level, like you could just be like, I don't know anything about Ferrari, but I like the color red,
Sure.
so they're my team.
Yep.
That's as simple as it needs to be.
Yep.
And so like we're all here, we're all here to be making more friends and to be bringing more people in. So I really want to work to try and make that happen more. As we go along. If there's anything that we can impart and leave as a legacy, that's what I want it to be.
Yeah. Because Formula One is really about friendship. That's what it's all about. Formula
But
friendship.
they both begin with an F, so that's for a reason.
Yep.
It's not just the spelling. Um, yeah. Well, Idris, what? What do what do you got? What do we have?
What do we got
Going.
cooking?
Good. Got cooking. What? Yeah. What do we got in the oven? What's happening?
Well, let's open this little oven door. Ooh, oh, is that a smell of a whiff of merch I'm smelling? Ooh,
Oh,
maybe
my glasses are all fogged up.
maybe some
Oh.
more races that we'll be attending and talking about in 2024 across
Ooh.
IndyCar and F1 and maybe
Is that
NASCAR. Ooh,
is that garlic bread? Oh man.
oh, oh my god, oh my god! Wait, new episode ideas? Oh my goodness, there's just so much in this oven right now. Yeah,
Hey,
it's been.
the instructions don't say you can't put multiple
Yeah.
things in. All right, so
Look, if it says 400 degrees for my pizza and it says 350 for my banana bread, I'm splitting the difference, y'all. 375. We got them both in there. It'll be fine.
A pizza and banana bread in the same oven.
why
Aren't you
not?
worried about like a cross flavor?
Just put okay. So put the pizza on the top, put the banana bread on the bottom. I'd rather have the sweetness into the pizza versus the pizza into the
what if like
sweetness.
pizza sauce drips onto your banana bread from above?
Well, then we'll just have to eat it then, won't we, Gabe?
Because you know what, I cook my pizza directly on the rack because I like that crispy crust. Or
Do you
no,
have like a
that's
little?
for the softer crust, isn't it?
I think honestly,
I was always confused.
I don't know, but like, do you have a pizza scoop? Like, do you have like one of those like
Oh man, I wish
little like
a
pizza
pizza
shovels?
shovel.
Pizza
Yeah.
shovels. Yeah.
I wish that would be amazing.
That's nice. That might be a nice gift for Gabe, y'all. Just his address is.
Jokes on you. I'm just moving. No,
Yeah,
no,
lots.
I'm really excited. Yeah, we got lots of stuff cooking. We've been narrowing in on our merch stuff. I know you've been promising it for like the past like 10 episodes, and it is, it's a process,
Yeah.
and it takes time. It's like an F1 team. You got to build 5 years before you get the results you're looking for. So
Name a more iconic duo: F1 or F off talking about. F1 and F off. Oh my god, I can't even like say our name properly. Oh my god.
we're gonna have to change it.
Here we go.
All right.
Here we go. Yeah, we're gonna have to change it to Formula Friendship, like we originally thinking.
Yeah.
By the way, that's adding to the FOOFO lore. But name a more iconic duo: F1 or F off, and saying that merch is coming soon. There we go. Still got it, man.
I
Still got it, man.
Oh jeez. Yeah.
I mean,
no.
hopefully it's live too by the time this drops. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. We had to look up several YouTube tutorials, but that's what we do because we're millennials. So, but yeah, no, we have a few merch ideas coming up. We have like a couple of clothing items, some accessories. I'm hoping to expand upon that as we move forward. So, we will see kind of how all that goes and how all that shakes out. I mean, obviously, honestly, like if you, I'm really excited for people to be wearing stuff that I have haphazardly thrown together.
We've designed. Yeah.
And I think it should turn out. It should turn out pretty great. I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, also we did a little bit of it this past year, and we're going to be doing more of it. And that is, you're going to be getting more IndyCar content.
Yeah.
You're going to be getting some Formula E content. I still need to go and watch all the previous FE seasons. So
yeah,
it's going to be on my list.
And we'll be doing that in this break, and we'll be talking a little bit about that in the new year. Hopefully, we can also do a NASCAR race this year. We've been talking about it, Gabe and I offline, and we're hoping to make that happen because we know we got some NASCAR fans in our listener base. So want to make sure we get you all fed with the coolest takes, hot sizzling fajita takes, and just in our brand and our style.
If we like a lofty goal that I would just retire from everything if we achieved is if in 1 year we managed to do Monaco,
Oh my God!
Indy 500, Daytona 500, and like the 24 hours of Le Mans, like all in one. That would be the most epic. Yeah. Like, I don't even know if that's possible because isn't Monaco overlap with?
I think so.
Monaco, I think it overlaps with like the Indy 500.
Yeah.
So we'd have to pick and choose for that one. Honestly, Indy would probably be easier because it's less expensive. But.
I mean, the only other thing I'd throw in there would be the Isle of Man, like.
Oh yeah.
Isle of Man race, like woo, that
the Dakar.
would be wicked. Yeah,
just out in the desert,
dude, so fun.
No, but I mean, like Formula E it's easy for Formula E and IndyCar because they come to my city, and Ohio is easy. Indy's easier for you because they go to Mid Ohio. I really do wish that Formula E would expand a little bit more. It'd be amazing if they were in like Chicago because then we could go to Chicago because we have like friends and family that are up there. That we could bring to the race and have people to hang out with and stuff. So
yeah,
I'm excited to get to as much as I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm gonna
absolutely.
try it.
Yeah, no, and I think for sure there's a I think that need will be recognized and that need will be met. I think more easily with Formula E versus Formula One, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Formula E is a little more accessible in that sense, where it's like just there's more. A lot of the cars do go on the street circuits. There's not really like a lot of
Right.
logistical supporting races,
Yep. Yep.
and there's not like there's just not much parts to an FE car. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's like it's simplified. So
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of economy of transport and parts that I think is really gonna make it easier going into the future. We just got to keep it popular.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look, I even got the Formula E shirt on today
Yeah,
too.
look at
So
you.
yeah, Formula E. E.
There we go. I was gonna say we both kind of got the memo with the
Oh, about the flannel?
flannels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
I mean,
although you're a little more color coordinated than
Yeah.
I am, I think. But
I mean, it's that means it's officially cuffing season, right? Just
yeah, that's right. But yeah, stay tuned for some more episode ideas, some more stuff that we're gonna go talking about, particularly like the new Braun GP documentary is out. Really want to watch that.
yeah.
Definitely have a lot of racing related movies to catch up on that I wanted to
Mhm.
like kind of discuss with you. There's a lot of
We have a lot of
you know,
reviews of things that we want to do.
a lot of reviews of things, a few interviews coming in, and hey, you never know what's going to show up throughout a year or two. I mean,
Yep.
like I don't think at the beginning of the year this year we would have thought that we were going to be talking to the people that we did and being able to have the episodes that we did. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy and excited about that.
Yeah.
I want more of it.
Yeah, and I think we also want to take this opportunity too to just thank you all listeners for just supporting us throughout this first year of this podcast. Like, it is definitely a labor of love. Like, we love doing this. There's a lot of work involved with it, but it's super fun and it's really rewarding because of the engagement we get with you guys, like the conversations, the takes you give back to us, about our takes, and just keep it up. It's really awesome, man. We can't wait to continue to grow this like marketing thing that we're doing and just talking about Formula One with you all.
Yeah. No, I agree. Same thing. It's been really nice. There's a reason why we call you the FOOFO fam, and it's because it's not, you're not the FOOFO fans.
FOOFO
You're not the
fam.
FOOFO listeners. Like, you are, anybody that supports us and wants to, keep us in their rotation of podcasts, we consider, a form of found family. So
Yeah.
keeping that vibes going.
And not like family, like a work would say, like your work employer would say, like, oh, we're here, we're a family. Not like that. That's a red flag. You walk away from that. But for us, it's different. Like, we're cool.
I mean, here, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily give any of you a kidney, but I could imagine a circumstance where I'm having Thanksgiving dinner. If you don't have any Thanksgiving dinner and you're in town, you'd be like, yeah, come and have Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, genuinely, it's really nice. I mean, that's the whole
Yeah.
point. It was to expand our friendship and to make more friends, and I think we're doing that really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just gotta make fans. We just gotta make friends with an F1 driver.
Yeah.
That's a goal.
So Louis Hammy, Fernando Alonso, just hit us up.
We should, yeah, but maybe we need to find some more lower hanging fruit. Maybe we should just hit up Logan Sargent and be like, "Hey, dude, what's up, man?"
Logan Sargent seems like he'd be a great guy to sit down and talk with.
I think so.
I feel like we'd really enjoy an afternoon out with him.
I don't really think he has these weird little blips of like personality that you get, and you're like, I don't know what he meant by that. But
Is it the Florida
like,
him?
maybe. But I feel like he would be an amicable enough person to to get to know. I mean, maybe we need to do that with Oscar Piastri because nobody seems to think he has any personality. I think the guy's probably super charismatic. He's just very introverted.
Man, all right, let me just tell you this. I'll just say this and we can wrap it up. The day that I forget which Grand Prix it was, where the dude had like a jetpack and ate
Austria,
it,
I think.
right?
Yeah.
And Oscar Piastri looks at the camera and just goes, That is one of my favorite moments from this season. His face.
I think that was Austria. And wasn't there some weird thing? Wasn't that like a sponsored by like a cryptocurrency or something? And they were having like some like race that was like it was a race. They were like racing around the track with these like jetpacks.
And the dude just eats it. And he
Oh,
makes, oh man, his
I
face
can't
was just
wait.
amazing.
I can't wait for the Drive to Survive episode for that. You know they're gonna put that footage in there somewhere.
I hope so. I hope so.
It's gonna be in there somewhere.
That would be a bag fumble if they don't.
Yeah, no, that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Well, again, I want to say for the last time for this year. Oh my god, I can't believe we're saying that. Like I'm wiping away a tear.
For the last time.
For the last time for now, but not forever. Thanks for listening to F1 or F Off. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. If you want to hit us up, just hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Twitter, Threads, whatever else. All at F1 or F Off, one word. You can email us at F1 or F Off podcast at gmail.com. And Gabe, do this part.
Give us a 5 or 4.5 star review. 3.5, you better have a good reason for it. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, okay, be sure to share it with your family, with your friends, with your chosen family, with your people that want you to give them their kidney.
What about that dude on the bus?
Every dude on the bus, every person, every uncomfortable Uber driver you've ever had to sit with, like anytime you are in an uncomfortable situation and you want to get out of it, you'd be like, hey, you know what? You should listen to this podcast. It's called F1 or F Off. Do that. Just say it to him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this guy's just like, hey, so, you know, I saw you from across the room and, you know, my wife here and I, you know, we dig your vibe. And you can just be like,
Whoa.
you can just be like, you know what? You know what? Here,
What?
listen to this F1 or F Off podcast. Have a good night, and then just walk away.
Oh my god. Did this happen to you?
No, that's a thing apparently. That's like it's like a you know a type apparently of
Got
like
it.
encounter.
Got it.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, any awkward situation you find yourself involved with, just tell them to listen to the podcast, and it will throw them off, and you can walk away. Just tell them have a good night. You know that we are here to be your sacrificial lamb.
Wow. Yeah. That's amazing. All right, y'all. Thanks.
I can imagine the reviews. It's just like, I was just chatting up some girl at a bar, and then I told me to listen to this podcast. I don't get the joke. 2 stars.
Which would clearly not be in our criteria of 3.5 to a 5-star rating, you know.
No,
but you know,
clearly,
it's
no,
okay.
It's okay. Yeah, we would definitely, you know, contest that one.
Yeah, absolutely. All right,
Have
thanks.
a good year, everybody.
Yeah, enjoy your holidays and talk to y'all 2024.
Peace.